Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Morphe Fluidity Foundation. I've been so excited to try this foundation because I've heard it just all over Instagram, all over the internet, and there has been some controversy about it, but I was really excited to put this foundation to the test to see if it can cover my acne scarring and if it breaks me out. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Bree. I make new videos weekly on beauty and skincare on a budget. Specifically for those of you who have acne prone skin, join the club. I do as well, girl. I know foundation can be a struggle sometimes to see how really full coverage it is and will it cover acne and acne scarring. So I'm on the quest to help you guys find the best foundation for you and your skin. If you guys are interested in seeing the rest of this video, then please keep on watching and don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button if you want to see more. And let's just get into it. Okay guys, so this is how my skin is looking so far today. You can see these are all my acne, but actually, if you can believe it, these are all mostly healing. Like all of these are flat, like these are flattening out, just a little bumpy here. Wow, they are starting to flatten out. My scarring is starting to fade. I know it doesn't look like it, but everything is accentuated with like lights and like on the camera, but yeah, they actually are starting to heal, so this will be a good test, but there's still a lot to cover up, so we're gonna see if this foundation can do it. So here it is, the shade F180. So this foundation is great because it comes in 60 shades, and actually when you buy a foundation you can select either the light, the medium, or the deep, and they actually send you a little book of shades. It's samples of 16 other shades, which I think is so cool. I don't see a lot of brands doing this, especially when you have to pick online, so this is super cool that we got it. But yeah, these are all like light and light medium range, so if this doesn't work, this shade doesn't work for me, then I'm excited to try the olive one and see what would best match me. But online this looked like it was going to be a pretty decent match, so we will see. A formula that performs like a boss with 60 diverse shades and multiple undertones that are not caught in the middle of plain shades. So it actually comes with 4 undertones. There is neutral, warm, cool, and olive, again, which is amazing because I don't see a lot of brands including olive undertones in their shades. 24-hour long wear, sweat proof, transfer resistant, water resistant, and it's supposed to be great for all skin types. This foundation ranges for $18 on Morphe's website, so very excited to try it. It's pretty affordable, and a lot of people have been comparing it to the Makeup Forever matte foundation or the L'Oreal Pro Matte foundation, which that's what this vibe, just what I've heard about the formula. I think it's going to be a lot like the L'Oreal Pro Matte, which makes me a little nervous because that foundation broke me out. I haven't tried that foundation in years, but it had broke me out in the past, so I hope this doesn't do that, but we will see. And let's just get right into it. Okay, so it doesn't look too bad. It's like a little runny. I'll apply this on the side of my face. It has that very like paint smell that a lot of full coverage foundations and concealers have. This might be way too much, so I'm gonna relax. And I'm just gonna take this and blend it with my beauty blender and we'll see the coverage. Oh, okay. Might be a little light for me. The foundation dries pretty quickly. Like, do you see, like, I'm pouncing in these little dots, like, let them sit for maybe way too long. Whoa, coverage. This is for sure a full coverage foundation. However, I do still see all of my little acne and acne scars peeking through, but I also think it is because this shade is a little too light for me, and usually when foundation is too light for me, then it accentuates my acne scars and stuff a lot more, obviously because my scars are darker than the foundation, so it's a little more difficult to cover up. Let's just apply more to this side of my face and see if the brush can either work a little more magic or just get a little bit more coverage. Just dries so fast. Whoa, okay, that is, oh my god. So a lot of things to say. I like the undertone, I like the warm undertone, so that's good. And for sure when I test it out again this week, I'm gonna try one of the other shades. I think I will be returning this one and exchanging it for another just because the shade is way too light for me. And the coverage, I'm struggling with it, so it is, I think it would be full coverage if it was my shade, but it's still, everything's pretty much peeking through. Try to build it up and layer again, but I don't know if you guys can see this. It's like clinging onto like dry patches, and I moisturized so good today, but it just looks so dry around this area. A little bit over here and a little bit in my nose, but mostly right here. It just looks so dry. I don't have dry skin. I have pretty much normal to oily skin, especially in my T-zone. But maybe throughout the day as the foundation sinks in and kind of like warms up with everything, it'll be good. I don't know. Let's see if we can layer it on just for testing coverage purposes, because I don't know. We're gonna see. Okay. Make me look so dry. Okay, so the coverage is buildable for sure. You can build this up to as much coverage as you need, so the coverage is there. I'll give it that. Guys, this is making me look so dry. Like, I don't know if you can see how dry this is making me. Like around my like acne, it's like clumping into dry patches. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, set with some spray, see if we can fix this situation, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I am back. All my makeup is done. Peeking through a little bit, like you can see it like a smidget. This one's like just real deep and out there so you can see them, but honestly I am very happy with how it looks right now. I was also afraid that this foundation was going to feel very makeup-y, like you can feel it on the skin and it was going to feel very heavy. So far it does not feel that heavy. It feels pretty good. Finish is still very matte, more matte than I am used to, and I'm not the biggest fan of a matte foundation. I used to be when I was younger, but now I'm just not. I'm more into like a dewy, feels barely there look, but it's not terrible. For those of you who have dry skin, I'm not sure if you're gonna like this foundation just because I have very minimal dry patches, but if you're someone that is super dry, I can see this very easily clinging to every single dry patch. This is a clinger, stage 4 clinger for dry skin. Be cautious. Well, I'm gonna go on through the rest of my day. I am very nervous just because I hope it really settles with my oils throughout the day, and I really hope that this foundation is the opposite of the L'Oreal one and that it doesn't break me out. So I'm hoping this doesn't do that, and I'm very nervous. We'll go on throughout my day. I'm gonna be running some errands, and I will check back with you guys later tonight. So I've officially had this foundation on for at least 10 hours, and honestly it's looking pretty good. It doesn't feel super heavy and like I want to take it off right away, but I'm very tired and I'm ready to take off my makeup. Also, it has faded a lot, but I like it that it's an even fade, so all my face kind of looks the same rather than like random patchiness. But I don't know if you guys can tell, but my face looks so dry again around where my breakouts are. Like, just so dry. I don't hate it as much as I initially thought I was going to, but I also don't like how dry it is making my face look. And even though my face doesn't feel that dry and I moisturized so good today, but I guess we'll see tomorrow, and I don't feel like it's gonna break me out just yet, but again, things can change, so we will see. I'm still a little bit on the fence about this foundation. I'm not sure if I love it or hate it. I'm right smack dab in the middle for now, so that is it for day 1's check-in, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow for day. All right, so this is another day, another check-in, but this is how my skin's looking. I think it looks so good. Like, oh my god, the coverage has been amazing. It has been staying on throughout the day like so well. I'm actually really impressed. I did not think I would like this foundation as much as I am liking it, but so far so good. Breakout wise, I don't see anything too crazy. I know I mentioned this right here, but this is kind of like gone and like healed. This isn't actually too bad. Like, yeah, it was a breakout, but it's not that bad. And then I guess on my chin right here, you can see that's new. And again, like I said, I rarely break out on my chin and rarely break out on like my forehead area. Everything's pretty normal and pretty typical. Again, I don't feel like it's clogging my pores or anything. It doesn't feel super heavy and makeup-y on the skin, which I really thought it was going to, but it honestly doesn't. This is the second day that I've been priming with the Smashbox Primerizer, and with doing that and like just my regular moisturizing routine, it has been sitting very well on the skin and it's not drying me out, and my acne doesn't look super dry like it did initially, so it maybe could have been the primer, but I feel like if you mix this with a hydrating primer, it won't be that bad. If you have dry skin,
and it's still pretty matte and stays pretty matte throughout the day. Like my oils do peek through a little bit, but not nearly as much as like my other foundations. Yeah, so that's it for now, and I will check back at the end of today.
It is now the end of the day, and do you see how well this foundation has held up? Like, my goodness, like it looks so good. I feel like it still holds my bronzer, my blush is still kind of there, like you can tell on this side, my highlight's still there. I'm not that oily. I haven't blotted in like hours pretty much. Like I did blot a little bit, but I haven't like touched up or anything, and it still looks so good. It does look a little dry, I'm not gonna lie. 12 hours of wear, I don't think it looks bad at all. I actually think it looks pretty good, and I'm pleasantly surprised with this foundation. I did not think I was gonna like it as much as I do. That's it for today's check-in, and we'll go ahead and wrap up this review. Alright guys, so now it is time to wrap up this Morphe foundation review. Honestly, I do really like this foundation. I think it's a good foundation. The coverage is there. It didn't feel super heavy on my skin where I felt like I wanted to like rip it off. And honestly, it wasn't as drying as I thought it would be, and it could be because I have more oily skin. The foundation meshed better with my skin, so it wasn't super drying, and it kind of made it more normal. But if you do have dry skin, I would be cautious of this. As you saw in my first application with my dry patches, it really did cling onto those dry patches. So if you have dry skin, I really feel like it'll be just stage 4 clinger. I wouldn't recommend this if you have dry skin, but if you have normal to oily skin, I would definitely recommend. It stayed on all day, which I think is amazing. It had that 24-hour claim, and honestly, I don't know if it's for 24 hours, but during my work days where I work 12+ hours, it held on pretty well, and it looked good still. It still held my bronzer and my blush and a little bit of my highlight, and it still kept the coverage pretty decent all day, which I think is amazing, and not many foundations do that for me, so that's a huge plus. Now, the only downside that I will say about this foundation after a couple of days, it did start breaking me out with consistent wear, unfortunately. Kind of similar story with the L'Oreal Pro Matte Foundation that broke me out. Although I will say this one didn't break me out as bad as the L'Oreal one did, but there were a couple of soft spots where I did notice more breakouts, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like on my chin, I broke out a little bit, and I rarely break out on my chin. And so that's how I kind of knew. Oh, and also on my nose, I had like 2 little pimples on my nose that kind of broke out, and I never usually break out physically on my nose. In a hard place because I really like the foundation. I think the coverage is great. It lasts a really long time. And honestly, I didn't find it to be too drying, especially with my oily skin type. I felt it felt good throughout the day. I didn't feel like I wanted to rip it off. It didn't feel too heavy, like a mask basically. But unfortunately, it did break me out. And so for that, I just wouldn't recommend if you have really sensitive skin, because it broke me out. My skin's not too sensitive, but just the formula in there didn't agree with me. There's a lot of other full coverage foundations out there that I do like that do not break me out. So for that, I'm gonna have to pass on the Morphe foundation, but I don't think it's a bad foundation by any means, guys. It's just for me, it didn't work out because unfortunately, towards the end, it did start breaking me out, which is so sad because I really do like it, but if it breaks me out, then there's no point because it's just not going to help my skin. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave it a thumbs up and leave me down in the comments below another foundation you think I should try out. And please subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.